Good evening, friends. I'm ur15cs335. The objective of my program is to create a class called matrix. With that, I'm going to perform the addition, subtraction, multiplication of matrix. So I've created a class called matrix, and there are two matrices: A of two rows and two columns, and B of two rows and two columns, and C of two rows to two columns to store the resultant of A and B. There are two functions, get data and put data. So here is my main function. I've created an object for the class matrix M and I've called put data and get data. So input data, I've asked the user to enter the values of matrix A and with the help of for loop, I've read all the values for matrix A. And the same wise, for the matrix B, I've read all the values. This is for two rows and two columns. So in the get data, it does the addition of matrix, that is for I is equal to 1 till I is less than or equal to 2, and in that for j is equal to 1 and j is less than or equal to 2, it does addition. It sums the matrices of A and B, that is the element in first row and first column and the element in first row and first column of B. It just sums the values like that and it gives the resultant. The same way in subtraction, it just subtracts the first row and first element in the first row and first column of A, matrix A, and it subtracts with the element in first row and first column of matrix B. The same way it does with the same, it does with the elements in the same positions. In the case of multiplication, it differs a bit. Here we have three loops. First, the outer loop is I loop. For I is equal to 1 and I is less than or equal to 2, I gets incremented. And for j is equal to 1, j is less than or equal to 2 and j also gets incremented. Here the C of I and j is incremented to 0. And here there is the third loop for int k is equal to 1, k is less than or equal to 2, k plus plus. Usually in multiplication matrix, uh, the first row, first column, it gets multiplied and then the answer of each element is getting added. Here it does the same thing. For example, if we have 2, 4, 6, 8 and 1, 2, 3, 4. First it multiplies 2 from matrix A with 1 of matrix B, and it multiplies 4 of matrix A with 3 of matrix B, and then the resultant of 2 and 1 and 4 and 3 will get summed. So here it is done like that. Initially it multiplies the numbers, that is the element in the first row first column and the element in first row first column, and it multiplies the element in first row second column, and here second, that is a second row first column. So it multiplies and give, and it the answer is getting stored in C of ij. And again, the same thing is happening and it gets sum. So for the outer loop it runs two times, and next outer loop, the j loop also run two times. For these two loops, the k loops runs two times every time whenever it enters the k loops, it runs two times. Likewise, the resultant is getting displayed. So we'll see the output. I'm entering the values of matrix A and I'm entering the values of matrix B. So it is giving me the addition of matrix, that is 2 plus 1 is 3, 4 plus 2 is 6, 6 plus 3 is 9, and 8 plus 4 is 12. Same way subtraction is done. 2 minus 1 4 minus 2, 6 minus 3, and 8 minus 4. In multiplication, it is like 2 is first initially multiplied with 1, and then 4 is multiplied with 3, and the resultant of these two is added, that is 2 ones are 2, plus 4 threes are 12, that is 12 plus 2, it gives the answer 14. The same ways it is done for all the four numbers. The next program is about a string to reverse the given string. So in my main function, I've declared a character array named string of 100 size. So I've asked the user to enter a string, and I'm using this get line to store my input. I've declared a variable n, and I've initialized n to 0. That is, here is a for loop for n is equal to 0. And my string of n is not equal to 0, my n gets incremented. This is to know the size of my string. And I've declared a variable called temp. Here is my main for loop. For int I is equal to 0 and j is equal to n minus 1. Here in a for loop I have two variables. I have initialized the two variables, and there can be only one test expression. So I should be lesser than n by 2, and I gets incremented every time and j gets decremented every time. This is similar like swapping. So temp is equal to string of I is equal to string of j, so str of j is equal to temp, and it calls the function reversed string, and I mean the given string is reversed and it gets stored and it displays. This for loop, what it does is the first uh, the first letter in my first word and the last letter in my last word, it gets swapped every time. Similarly, first and last letter gets swapped, and my second and the n minus 2 element, it gets swapped. The same like third and n minus 3 gets swapped. Similarly, the first and last, that is the it comes, I gets every time incremented and j gets every time decremented. So whenever I increments and j decrements, the position of two letters will be swapped. So here we'll see the output. So I'm entering a string able I was. Now it Now it displays like saw I elba. See here it is first like swapped A and S, B and A, L and W, and E and I. So now it is like saw I elba. So it gets swapped. And I'll try with one more sentence. It get displays like this. The elements are swapped and it displays like SHTAMEVOLI.